Scott, that's you. Can you do the announcement for breakfast? Nah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. All right. Apparently, I'm live now. So, hi guys. Um, I'm Gordon. As some of you may know, I'm captain here on the Belle Amie, and right now we are in a beautiful spot. We're anchored just off of Santa Margarita Island, near the Magdalena Bay, and this morning we're diving at a very cool spot. It's the wreck of a submarine that was sunk in 1920, a World War submarine, 150 feet long, named the Sea Wolf, and it was the first Navy vessel called the Sea Wolf, and many more after that were named for the Sea Wolf. So you can see behind me, it's really a gorgeous morning here, and I've got some special guests for you today. Ow. And I'm just gonna ask them some questions. So there are some guests on this trip. We've got Scarlett here, and we've got Scott, who just did the dive on the submarine. So I'm gonna ask them a few questions about their dive and about their trip so far. So Scarlett, we'll start with you, Scarlett. I'm just gonna put this on here. Want to say hi to everyone?
Hi,
So how old are you, Scarlett?
I'm 11.
11 years old. Have you been on a liveaboard before?
No, I've never been on
No?
a board
First
before.
liveaboard.
Yeah.
Very cool. And where do you come from?
Pacifica, California.
Pacifica, California. I don't really know where that is,
It's
but
near San Francisco.
near San Francisco.
Yeah.
How many dives do you have?
Well, including yesterday, like 6.
6 dives?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And you're on this, this is the first time we've done this dive trip from Cabo up to Ensenada, exploring this part of Baja. So that's pretty cool. You're on this trip. And Scarlett did the first dive yesterday at the south end of Margarita Island. So how was that dive?
It was really cool. Visibility was okay, but we saw like a ton of fish. We saw some sea lions, but we didn't see them underwater, just when we were going down. But some of the other people, they played with like their flippers and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little cold here. The water, I mean. It's beautiful up here, but yeah, the water's pretty cold.
And we also saw Garibaldi fish.
Garibaldis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Scarlett. And you want to get your breakfast now before it gets
Sure.
cold? Sure, breakfast is waiting for her down below. And now I'm just going to ask Scott a few questions. Scott dove on the submarine this morning. So first, we got to this area yesterday in afternoon, and we did a dive. And then last night we came up the coast, and we were just looking for the submarine. We had some coordinates from a friend ashore, and we cruised over those coordinates. We had the sounder on, of course, and that's what we were using to find it. And exactly where we were told it would be, it was. So on the first pass over, we saw it on the sounder. And then overnight last night, we were out offshore looking for seamounts, diveable seamounts. just cruising back and forth all night. And we actually didn't find anything shallow enough to dive on yet, but we're going to keep looking tonight. So then early this morning, we arrived here back at the site of the submarine, and we just finished our first dive on it. So, Scott, how was it down there on the sub?
That is a really cool dive site.
Yeah?
It's impressive, especially 100 years after it's sinking. And lots to see, full of eels, lots of corals, lots of fish.
Yeah.
A little chilly down there, 60 degrees. It makes you pay attention, but a really great dive site.
Cool. And the submarine itself, is it intact or is it like broken? Parts of it broken?
It's pretty intact. It has the kind of tail ends broken off a little bit, but it's upright, and there's for 100 years it's held up reasonably well. It's got a lot of inhabitants, lobsters and eels.
Yeah, I noticed when we drove over it last night, the first sign that it was down there was just huge schools of fish on the sounder, so I knew would be fish there. And did you see any? Not that we are going in or penetrating the wreck, but did you see any spots where that might be possible if we were equipped for that?
It didn't look like it.
Oh.
I'm not an expert, but each baffled compartment had its own inhabitants that would sort of pop your head in, and someone was living in this one, the next one, and so it was a great way to see sea life. A few places where you could stick your head in. I mean, they're not big submarines in terms of their space.
They're pretty narrow.
Pretty narrow.
Yeah, it's 100 according to Wikipedia anyway. It's 150 feet long, and I think it had like a 20-foot beam or something. So yeah, it's a pretty narrow tube. Cool, Scott. And just tell us where you're from again.
I'm from Denver, Colorado, and it is my fourth trip on the Belle, Amie, the pride of the Pacific dive fleet.
That's right. He was not paid to say that.
I was not. I say it in all earnestness.
and Scott actually did the previous trip with us just before this one into the Sea of Cortez. So this is the second trip in a row right now. So thanks for coming for diving with us, Scott.
It's great to be out. I hope the rest of you all get to get out in the water again, and highly recommend hanging out with these guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott. Cheers. And so just for a little more information too about the submarine, it's in a great location right now. It's really like shallow enough for anybody to dive and to spend lots of time exploring down there. The viz today is a little bit low, as it can be in this part of Baja this time of year. And like everyone's been saying, the water's cold, but everyone's coming up shivering, but like with big smiles. And now, here comes Dive Master Jan.
Hello, everyone.
So Jan just also did the dive this morning on the submarine, and he did the dive yesterday at the south end, of course. And well, first let's talk about the submarine. So, what were your impressions of it?
It was a very beautiful wreck. It's pretty much intact. Just maybe the tower has been crumbling down a bit, but the propeller is intact, complete. There's lots of cables. You can see the connection. It's an old shipwreck, and for 100 years, a lot of life had time to grow on it. So there's lots of corals, lobsters everywhere, scorpion fish. You have holes with like 2 or 3 eels right next to each other. There's lots of snappers as well, and quarters angelfish. It's really nice, really full of life. Every hole you look, there's this one pipe that comes up about this big, and there is a little octopus sleeping in it. And as you pass by, it just pops his head out and then goes back to sleep. So it's pretty awesome. It was a really good dive. You can feel a bit of the history of the shipwreck as you're diving there. So it makes it pretty interesting. The viz is not too bad actually. It's about 6-7 meters, so like around 18 feet. So it's pretty good. As you go down, you get this black shadow emerging from the bottom. So it's a pretty good sensation. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Beautiful. So, yeah, he mentioned the sense of history. It was 1920 it went down, so pretty much exactly 100 years ago. I think it was in March of 1920. So, pretty amazing. And from what I understand, I mean, some locals I think have known about this wreck maybe for a few years, but really it was just identified last year in 2019 um, as the U.S. submarine. It was USS H-1, also known as
Seawolf.
the Seawolf. The Seawolf. I guess there's a bit of sun behind us. It's kind of hard to get a good angle here. But I'm gonna try. Maybe I'll switch spots with whoever's talking. So the plan for tonight, I think, well, we're gonna do one more dive here on the submarine, and then we're going to maybe explore down to the south. We passed over a spot yesterday that looked really cool. A lot of fish on the sounder, birds everywhere.
Dolphins.
Yeah, dolphins. The viz looked good. So I think for the third dive this afternoon, we're gonna go. I'm talking about the point, the south point down here, but on the outside.
Okay.
And then tonight, like I say, we're gonna go look for more seamounts. And tomorrow, I think we're gonna be doing some offshore, like blue water drift diving, or if we get lucky and we find a seamount, then we're gonna be diving on that. And yeah, it was so awesome when we were approaching the Magdalena Bay area offshore yesterday, like in the morning. It was it was so beautiful to me. Like the sea life here is like nowhere else I've ever seen. Like you're just in open ocean. Um, there's nothing to see around you but blue, and there's just sea life everywhere on the surface. So I don't know how many turtles I saw. We had a pod of common Pacific dolphins. We had a pod of bottlenose dolphins, including a couple that were leaping right out of the air in front of the boat. Like it was just crazy. And I also saw some kind of a shark. It was like a 6-foot shark, just breach fully out of the water and flip in front of the boat. Maybe 100 meters in front of the boat. What else did we see? Like a few. There was a few actually reports of sharks on the surface.
Hammerhead sharks.
A hammerhead shark.
At the surface. Turtles.
A lot of turtles. The dolphins. It's like it's just full of so full of sea life. So that tomorrow we're just going to be going out there and just getting in the water and exploring that. Okay, so I've got a couple questions here. How was the current? Actually, so far the last couple days, there's been like pretty much no current at all, has there?
No current. Just a little bit of a swell because we're close to the shore, but it's not strong at all. So it's very easy to dive actually.
Yeah, so far the both dive sites we visited have been like 40, 50 feet, 10, 12 meters or less even, and really low current. The viz hasn't been great, but the sea life has more than made up for it so far. It's just amazing. It's so rich in sea life here.
Yeah, yesterday we were in the in the bay. It's very shallow, just 7 meters, about 20 feet. And we saw plenty of sea lions playing with us, very, very curious, blowing bubbles at us, and they were pretty young ones as well, so they are the most playful ones. We had Mexican horn shark as well. We had big scorpion fish. We had massive turtles. There was a school of millions of little sardines. And as you would go under this school, it would just completely turn off the light. That's how dense the school was actually. So it's pretty awesome.
Cool.
And that was just 20 feet of water. So it's pretty intense. Pretty awesome.
A couple more questions I'm going to answer. What got you into diving and ocean life? I'll go first, and then Jan can go, because I'm not sure who the question's for. But I grew up in Nova Scotia on the east coast of Canada, so I grew up on the ocean, right next to it. So, and growing up, we always had a boat. I started diving when I was in high school, and then as soon as I started doing that, I was just like, yeah, I'm doing this as a living somehow. And as usual, I got sidetracked for a little while, but then, like 13 years ago, I just became a dive instructor. I had my captain's license by that time already, and here I am with Nautilus. It was a good fit because it's a Canadian-owned company. Um, and Jan, what about you? What got you into diving?
I got there when I was 12 years old. Actually, my stepfather taught me how to dive. And I think since I was a kid, I knew at some point I would be doing that full time professionally. So started. I took the big leap about 10 years ago. Left everything in France and started in Asia diving. No regrets so far. And then when you came to Mexico, it's just found a little paradise. Here is everything you want to see in the water. You can find it. So it's just perfect. That's my little dream as a kid coming true, actually. So there you go.
Cool. Next question. What is the best month to dive with sharks? Well, if we were talking about the great whites of Guadalupe, I'll start with that one. Um, any time that our trips go is a great time to do it. Like we always have sharks there. We dive there generally July to mid-November, and early in the season is my favorite time to do it. Like July, August is my favorite time. Then you have more male sharks. You don't have the really big females, but it seems to be more sharks, and they're like a little younger, a little smaller, and they're a little more excitable. So they're just really entertaining. So that's my favorite time of the season to dive with the white sharks. And then later in the season is fun too. Any time of the season is amazing. Later in the season, you get a chance to see bigger females, but maybe not as many sharks. But yeah, and then if we're talking about at Socorro and just sharks in general,
Oh, yeah.
all year long you can see them. Yeah, maybe later in the season out at Roca you can see more silkies, more silver tips, but all year long you can see sharks there. Any time of the year, come to Socorro is great. And what's the next question we got here? Yeah, for you guys, first of all, my sister just asked a question. Hi, Glenda. Love you. The land behind me is Santa Margarita Island. It's like halfway up southern Baja on the Pacific coast. And yeah, it's a beautiful island. This is certain times of the year, this is the area where the gray whales come with their young. And yeah, that's the name of it, Santa Margarita Island. Um, the submarine, people asking about the submarine. Yeah, we did find it. Actually, we did find the submarine, and we have another guest here who dived on it this morning. So she wants to eat her breakfast too. It's breakfast time here. So I'm going to get her to come and answer some questions. What's your name?
Tatum
This is Tatum, everybody. Where are you from, Tatum?
from San Francisco?
From San... Your sister's with Scarlett, are you?
No,
You're not?
not related.
Okay, never mind. Um, so you dove the submarine this morning, and how was it?
It was really nice.
Yeah?
It was a little murky, but
A little murky.
visitation was great when you're like looking at it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And what kind of animal life did you see on it?
It was actually like marine life was quite prevalent.
Yeah.
We saw some octopuses.
Octopus? Octopi?
Octopi. Scorpion fish. There were a lot of moray eels. It was really like
Cool.
pleasant down there.
When you first saw it, or as you were diving along it, was it recognizable as a submarine?
No, just
Like
looked like
if you were
scrap
just
metal.
it just looked like
Yeah.
metal. Yeah.
Parts of it were like concave and like on itself, so it's kind
Uh-huh.
of hard to identify what I was looking at.
Okay.
The propellers are intact and they're really entertaining to watch.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Awesome. Have you ever dived on a liveaboard before?
I have.
You have? Which one?
The Aranui in Indonesia,
Okay. Wow.
and then another one in Fiji. I just don't remember the name.
Wicked cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks so much,
Of
Tatum.
course.
Go get your breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to carry on about the submarine, of course we found it. We're diving on it right now. We searched for it last night with a position that we was given to us by a friend on land, and we went to that position and first pass there it was on the sounder. So we were very excited about that, and um, then we came back here this morning, dropped the anchor nearby, and we've done one dive so far on it. We're going to do another one here after breakfast, after everyone's fueled up and warmed up a bit. Oh, sorry, I got some questions coming in here. My nephew Tig is watching also, and my neck mask is very cool. Thank you very much, Tig. I appreciate that. I think I look kind of cool too with it. Right?
Yeah,
Thank you, Martin. Yeah. Come on over.
Hide it.
Faith, you should have stayed on the boat, Faith. Who else is watching? Tig with you. Is Miles watching? So here's Martin.
Hey
You
guys.
guys know Dive Master Martin? If you haven't, you're about to. Prepare yourselves. So oh, you didn't dive on the sub this morning,
No.
did you?
No.
He was driving the inflatable, but he's going to be getting in after breakfast, I would assume.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super excited. 100% going. Yeah.
Wicked.
Can't miss it.
Yeah. So what about yesterday's dive? You did that one. Well, you're
Yeah.
pretty busy, but
So yesterday's dive. Well, I just went with two guests in the end.
Yep.
Father and daughter, Orin and Scarlett. She's only 11, nearly 12 years old.
yeah, they met her earlier. She was on.
Oh,
here.
she came up, eh?
Yeah.
All right, brilliant. So you've met Scarlett. She's super cool. Anyway, so we stayed in the shallows. We took our time a little bit, but we managed to get down and have a dive. We were in the water in total for about an hour and a half, longer than anyone. It was 15 degrees. I was freezing, and Scarlett was absolutely fine. So I need to just kind of eat more vegetables, probably. I don't know. Like, it's embarrassing. But you know, the dive was really, really good. It was, yeah, obviously a little bit green. It's very nutrient-rich water, but so much life. So much life. There was a few sea lions around. We saw easily over 10 stingrays, the Garibaldi's, plenty of species of angelfish, king angelfish, Pacific angelfish, and stuff like this. So yeah, no, it was really good, really, really nice, yeah. And all the sardines again, like everyone's mentioned, I think they're amazing. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can get some bait balls or something later on. I don't know.
Awesome.
To watch, yeah.
I
Fantastic.
definitely think we have the chance to see some big balls.
That looks good, eh?
Yeah.
Looks good.
Cool.
All right.
I'm just gonna answer some questions. What we got here? What else are we doing on this trip? We are gonna spend the rest of the day diving around here. Then tomorrow we're gonna go offshore, diving some deep sea mounts. That might mean like just blue water drifting in nearby the sea mounts, or if we find something diveable, we'll dive there. But regardless, it's gonna be full of life, I know. And then the plan is maybe one more day around this Magdalena Bay area. There's some really cool mangroves on the other side of this island that we might go explore. We'll see. We're kind of taking it day by day to a certain degree. And then we've got a long way to go still to get up to Ensenada, where we're going to disembark. We've got like almost 500 miles still to go. So after the day after tomorrow, we're going to start heading north, and then we're going to spend our last 2 days of diving up south of Ensenada, like 100 miles south of Ensenada. There's there's a cool seamount that we know there. That's a beautiful dive, and there's also some kelp diving. There's a reef that's quite nice there. So that's going to be the rest of this trip. This is the first time we've done this trip, and I hope that we're going to do it every year because it's really cool, and it's so gorgeous here. Like waking up this morning is this fog, like a bit of a fog bank, and then the sun rising and this beautiful beach behind us. It's just really magical, to be honest.
Yeah.
Are we doing this trip again? I'm gonna hazard a guess and say yes, we will be doing this trip again. But it's well, we've got the gallant lady actually also, so that this might become a run for her more than once a year. We have not seen any gray whales. It's not really the season here for the gray whales. They're a little further north right now, so we haven't seen any. It's still possible to see other whales here. Sperm whales, blue whales can be in the area, so we're keeping our eyes open. The gray whales in season, that's like February, March. You want to come here like by on land, and there's lots of local operators right now. They'll take you out, and you can't, you don't really dive with them, but you can have a great interaction with them. Let's see. Miles, hi Miles. How deep is the submarine? And Gerardo says hi to Martin.
Hey, Gerardo.
Hi Gerardo, thanks for saying hi to me. The submarine is not very deep. It's only in like 40 to 50 feet of water. So Miles, I think you could dive on it, buddy, no problem. I'm gonna have to take you. And my girlfriend just said, looking great, Captain. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Karin. I can't see you right now, but I know you look great too.
Oh, beautiful.
The water temp? Juanito asked, how's the water temp? It's, can I explain it to you in degrees or with words? It's cold.
Fresh.
It's fresh.
It's fresh.
I've heard that down at the bottom and like 50 feet, it was as low as 15 degrees Celsius. That sound about right?
Yeah, 15, 16 degrees.
Yeah.
This morning.
And at the surface, not much different.
17 maybe.
17, yeah. So
Yeah.
15 to 17, it's cold. So for the future, like at least a 7 mil in the hood, dry suit wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
But you're if you have a 7 mil hood, gloves, boots,
you're okay.
you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine. Absolutely fine. Yeah, maybe with another vest or something underneath for your core if you really struggle with the cold. But yeah, 7 mil with your extremities also covered. None of the guests have been too cold so far. Yeah, nice weather though.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Next question. When's taco night? That's my
Woohoo!
question too, like every day. When's taco night? Because it's my favorite night. And pretty sure we're going to have taco night tonight.
Yes, it is.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Tonight is taco night. That's the answer. Everyone's favorite dinner. On the sun deck, barbecue going. Oh, wicked. I could have taco night every night. Every
Yeah,
day.
it's so nice, eh?
Yeah. And after this trip, so we're going to get up to Ensenada on the 24th. After this trip, we're going to be kind of hanging around Ensenada, waiting for Guadalupe to open so we can start doing white shark trips. I can't wait to do that again, too. So, Martin, what got you into diving in ocean wildlife?
Okay. Well, I think I was inspired as a child by like the old Jacques Cousteau documentaries, and then also I'm from England, so the BBC documentaries with Sir David Attenborough, obviously inspired me, as they probably do anyone that watches them. So biology was something that really interested me at school as well. I just had an interest in it, so I went on to study marine biology at university and coastal ecology. And part of my first year, one of the modules they offered was diving. And I applied and was lucky enough to be one of the 32 out of 250 candidates to be accepted onto the diving module. And that's where I started, in very low visibility, cold water, not so much to see. A lot of wrecks actually down in Plymouth, England. And yeah, I was hooked. I was hooked since then for diving. And then I went to travel around Southeast Asia and decided to do my dive master course as well. And that was 10 years ago. And I've worked around Southeast Asia in Borneo, Malaysia, Thailand and Indonesia. a little bit in Papua as well, and then I've been in Mexico for just over 3 years now with Nautilus liveaboards and absolutely loving it, really. So I'm kind of doing exactly what I think I should be doing. I feel very lucky every day.
Wicked.
So,
Me too, man.
it's good, eh?
Yeah.
This morning, guys, honestly, mind-blowing, this view. Insane. It looks like it's out of a fantasy novel. It was
Yeah.
amazing. Mist slowly burning off. The sun came up through the mist. There's this wreck over here. The guys are about to dive a 100-year-old submarine. So, yeah, it's nuts. With pelicans flying through the mist, amazing. A few sea lions on the surface. We just need a whale now, and I guess we can call it a day. We're done, you know. So, absolutely amazing.
Over. Wicked. Awesome, man.
Cool.
Cool, yeah. So I think I'm gonna go diving on the wreck too. After breakfast.
You got a 7mm?
No, I don't know what I have right now. I'm gonna borrow
A
somebody's.
shorty. Rush vest. Off you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't not dive on the submarine
No.
that we found. So, and yeah. If there's any other questions or not? Juan said if the water is that cool, then it's going to be a good great white action this season. I agree.
Hope so.
Giovanna, hello in Peru.
Hello, Peru.
I don't know if you guys. I'm just going to move the camera to maybe show you a bit of the island so you guys can get a better view. I'm going to try not to mess it up too much, but that way is going to be looking into the sun. I can't really see the screen right now, so I'm sorry if what I'm showing you, that's me. Sorry.
That's just my face.
It's my face. Ignore that.
Just my face.
And there's the boat. So nice here. It's so nice here. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna put it back down again. It's crooked now. That's cool, Martin. All good, man.
Happy days, breakfast time.
Happy days.
Have a great day, guys. Come and see us soon. Thank you. Cheers, Cap.
Cheers, man. Nicola, I will say hi to Martin for you, for sure. Will any part of this trip be a future combo trip? I think that's very possible. I don't know of any shore plans right now, but I think it's very possible that it will be part of a future trip. I mean, if people want to do it and they're interested in it, then we'll probably offer that, yeah. Does anyone live on this island? I don't believe so, not on this island, no, but just on the other side of the island is the mainland, mainland Baja. It's not, it's not far off the coast, so then in there's a few towns, small fishing towns. And I think we're kind of coming to a close here for this edition of Live from the Belle Amie. Unless I see any more questions pop up in the next few minutes, or unless I get a WhatsApp saying keep talking, I'm going to sign off. So just one more time here, just to wrap it up. Right now we're at Santa Margarita Island. We're anchored in a beautiful spot. The weather is gorgeous. It's really calm. We're diving at the wreck of a World War I submarine right now, called the USS H-1, also known as the Seawolf. And we're going to spend the rest of the day around here. Tomorrow do some offshore blue water drift diving, some seamount action. And then we're going to head north and dive about 100 miles south of Ensenada. We're not going to be going to Cedros on this trip, only because Cedros is considered a national park, the marine area around it. So national parks are not open right now, so we're not going to be diving Cedros. So we're only diving areas that are not national parks. So that includes Cedros, San Benitos, but we do have some other options, some good options. I guess that's it, guys. Thank you guys for signing in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the questions. And if you just arrived, I'm leaving now, and you missed the live, it's going to be available for replay on our Facebook page, so you can check it out there. And come back in a week on Saturday, next Saturday, for the next edition of live. I think we're going to have one. And that's it. And Captain Gordon signing off, and thank you all for joining. See you soon.